a suspicious sign about the Duke of Sussex being removed from the British royal family's website. Some information indicating the activities of Prince Harry and his wife up to now no longer appears on the web. Why is that? Please analyze with me. Very happy to meet my beloved friends again on my channel. My happiness is to bring the latest information to you. In the early hours of the morning, Australian time, the royal website was updated. It seems that some information about Harry and Meghan's biography has been changed. I was thinking about this, and I think they deleted their activities while working for the royal family on the official royal family website and moved to their website. Think more carefully. They're no longer listed as supporting or working for the monarchy and Commonwealth, and are directed to their project with no recourse to the monarchy. This could be a subtle way of saying you're out, and when your project fails, don't expect any help from the monarchy. Citing their new website can appear to be helpful, so they can't claim being bullied, but in fact could be a kick in the butt as they're pushed out of the door. Harry's activities were also erased, but he is a member of the royal family. I don't know whether to be happy or sad when his activities are removed from the web. But what's more telling is that they shouldn't include another link back to their website here. Presumably, Harry and Meghan knew the royal family's website would be updated, and that's why they created their website. Perhaps the most regrettable thing is to see Harry's relationship with the British royal family gradually decline. I always told my kids, no matter what mistakes you make in life, I will always love and forgive you. They must learn from their mistakes and repent. It's what being a Christian is all about, forgiveness. But trust is another thing. You cannot earn someone's trust through an apology. It takes time to prove you now trustworthy as well as apologetic. Harry will have a hard time ever proving his trustworthiness and being accepted back as part of the family or a working royal. However, I think this shows King Charles' class as a king and the love he had as a father. Because Harry and Meghan's biography is very little compared to William and Catherine's, and when you dive into it, you will see that they have made it clear that the couple no longer represents the royal family in any way again. Charles took the high road, and I think it was done well. I can imagine the difficulty King Charles is having with making the distinction between his duties to his country and being a father to a rebellious and spitefully entitled son. It seems he is trying very hard to walk a tightrope, and I've wondered if it is because he fears for Harry's mental stability to handle a complete fracture with the royal family. Unfortunately, had some emotional problems that, in my humble opinion, Harry seems to have inherited. I confirm that leaving the royal family is not a good move. No matter how they try to spin it, look what Edward and Sophie have. They have the biggest house out of all the kids. Look at the titles they just received. Look what Anne and Tim have. Look at their titles. Both couples achieved success through hard work. And Meghan and Harry have no patience. Such people will torment themselves all the time. I think the royal family is taking another huge step, in a subtle and sophisticated way, to eliminate the connections, relegated to footnote beneath Andrew. And William and Catherine, Prince and Princess of Wales, they continue to shine with integrity and grace. No matter what the naysayers or mainstream media say, when you are a person of merit, integrity, and service, only you can humble yourself because you are not capturing the limelight. You are just offering the service you swore to dedication. This is the beginning of the end. It will result in the merest of footnotes. After all, even Wallace was educated, considered witty, and has exquisite sartorial taste, whereas Rachel, well, beige and bland and unoriginal / unsuccessful, really doesn't quite leave a mark. More tellingly, Meghan will probably make a big deal about "I'm still there" on the royal site and will attack the royal family about it. It's better to pretend she no longer exists. But it cannot be denied that the government is the only one who can abolish titles. Why? Because King Charles is ensuring that Harry and Meghan are not mentioned in history books by leaving them out. That is the worst punishment for them. Being ignored and letting the world know that they no longer work or support. And honestly, stop bullying the king. He's fighting cancer. I think the king needs to take down Harry. The king created this mayhem by deceiving the teenage Princess Diana, the future king's mother. How weak can King Charles be? Why let his good son, William, tarnish his goodness by cleaning up the mess the hot-tempered King Charles had created at the age of 35? When a young man marries an adulterous woman who has broken up a broken marriage, will never end well in real life. The royals created a new source of conflict for themselves, really because the king chose to be a wimp, not a gentleman ever. The king created the problem when at the age of 30-something, he chose to cheat on his teenage wife, Princess Diana, the mother of the future king. The king needs to king up and finally clean up his mess. King Charles married the adulterer. Harry will never visit. King Charles had to show more support for William and Catherine publicly. Without a chance, he is too cowardly to support those who truly support him. Something he proves more and more worthy of as he does nothing to protect them. Instead, he continues to explore Montecito's sufferings, more so in facilitating them. But aside from King Charles's personal life, I praise the royal family for its elegance. I think the purpose is to let others know that Harry and Meghan are no longer doing any work for the king, the Commonwealth, or the monarchy, so that Harry and Meghan cannot continue to pretend to be royals, going to other countries pretending to work. Spoke on behalf of the monarch, that is, Whistler, Canada, to the first national chief. They cannot be removed from the family because, as the late Queen Elizabeth said, Harry and Meghan are still beloved members of the family. I believe this was a very difficult push for the couple. I think linking the site is a royal-class move. There are still people interested. The update of the royal website has also put them out of business in America, showing them as irrelevant, even though they're still listed there, because one cannot erase family. The royal family has taken the high road. We, the public, have to read the fine print, so to speak. In my opinion, if people want updates on Harry and Meghan, they should go to their website, not the royal family website. They are not under those serving the monarch, just as family members. They have to appear there for historical purposes, as H is the son of the king. I edited it to say that I don't see a problem with the link. Other than the website name, it prevents Harry and Meghan from playing the victim and demonstrates that the royal family is not being petty. As seen, it is clear that the much-reduced joint biography is sending a message, along with only referring to Harry as Duke of Sussex and not Prince, that there is now a much wider gap between the two families. Their sudden removal from the royal website could cause a difficult reaction, especially as things have only just calmed down regarding the Princess of Wales's illness. Eliminating them little by little is better, as there will be less opportunity to complain, but it will probably be just as painful. A monarchy that has been around for 1,000 years or thereabouts can take its time to iron out the difficulties. I think someone in England should apply for a permit to organize a parade. Then the whole country will come together to organize a large parade to honor the couple who no longer play an important role on the site. Isn't that so funny? How exactly can it be done? I was excited to think that I could fly over from America if they did that. Now I wish they would withdraw his title and take him out of the line of succession, remove him as state counselor, and remove them from the site entirely. I agree, the link should not have been added. It's so frustrating and disappointing when they have to deal with traffic. Do you think King Charles might want to take that action to help his son? I can only imagine how torn he must be between being king and or being a father. In my opinion, he must act decisively to remove their ability to monetize their titles and to continue to act as if they were representing the king. They are an embarrassment that will continue to tarnish the reputation of the monarchy and the royal family. I think it was also smart of Meghan to provide the Sussex link, as it redirects all questions and provides all updates. She is very passionate about social networks, so she will create more pages and more links for both her and her husband, and do a lot of PR to make the Sussex link more and more bland. How ridiculous it is. Digressing a bit, I went to Meghan's new product introduction website. You've heard about it, and I don't want to say the name or emphasize more about it. Anyway, the site is empty. On Insta1, can find ads for it filled with shots of evening gowns. But I have to ask who announces a new brand or product before the site has any content. What content? Ridiculous. It seems like she enjoys the marketing aspects of naming, daydreaming, taking photos, and announcing the new things she has created, but the reality is always empty. How many times has it been said that she is rebranding? At least 5 things I can think of. And the link sits on the web, announcing to the world that they condone Harry and Meghan's disgusting behavior. I'm completely fed up with everything. Also, if they're going to put him on the site, then Beatrice and Eugenie should be on the site too. They are also members of the family. What about Lady Louise and her brother? Aren't they family? However, in my opinion, there should be no connection between the monarchy and any form of private money-making endeavor. But I think this highlights the problem with Charles. He is still thinking too much about his darling boy when it gets in the way of his job as king and protecting the royal establishment. I think he's trying to go the extra mile to be fair, although I think he's now been taxed enough by what Harry has done and said that we're starting to see some consequences. Thank God. But he also wants his son to succeed and certainly isn't going back to him for the money, so I don't think he wants to hurt his chances. And this puts him in direct conflict with his duty. I just feel like this whole business is making the king look weak and unable or unwilling to do what is necessary. Honestly, not sure how much he can do. That makes that point even worse. Weak, impotent. We all found it very relieving. All I know is that these royals seem to get whatever they want, and I'm mostly pro-royal. Well, Charles's darling boy is neither a favorite nor a boy. And he was never created to be a man. And it doesn't seem like even when he was in the military, which I think was when he was happiest. There's a leadership problem here, and that's because Dad still wants to be too flexible and accommodating and not take a hard line seriously. Yes, he's made a few moves, but I think he's very inconsistent. And in my heart, I believe he doesn't want to take everything away from Harry. Even if Harry didn't want or deserve them, he still wanted to leave the door open, and he wants him to have some chance of success. However, what's more exciting? This vile duo has fallen below Prince Andrew. How wonderful! As far as I can see, the linked website is not updated regularly and will fade into oblivion and die a natural death. I'm glad it's not linked to the recently added one, even though there might be a link on that one. I see it as an extremely positive step and over time will be quietly changed, I hope. People are still talking about ducal titles, but nothing can be done about them unless the British Parliament feels so inclined, and at the moment they have more important things to deal with, so they don't want to do anything. As for the Duke of York appearing on the web, I have no problem with that. He is the son of our late Queen and Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, and brother of the King. He was also a war hero of the Falklands War and should be recognized and honored as such. I think it's possible that they provided the link to curb a portion of the criticism they'll probably receive from sections of the media concerning pettiness. At first, I thought it wouldn't make a difference as their website's useless and most likely to remain so. But I now also think it's possible Charles is giving H a lifeline as he can't bear to leave him to become a down and out as he's failing at everything. Much easier to get investors if there's traffic to your site, I imagine. But would the Harkles still eventually run it to a standstill like everything else? Check out the most recent video where Harry visited Jamaica. The people there really didn't know how to treat him, so they just saw him as the king's son. I think their visit to the natives of Canada would be more embarrassing to the royal family than going to Jamaica. In Canada, they are treated like royalty. Harry let them think that talking to him would make a big difference in their lives because of his status, and they gave him and her gifts befitting what the royals were doing. Job. He completely abused them for PR. But what's more interesting? This vile duo has fallen below Prince Andrew. How wonderful! I see it as an extremely positive step, and over time will quietly change, I hope. People are still talking about ducal titles, but there's nothing that can be done unless the British Parliament feels so inclined, and they have more important things to deal with at the moment, so don't want to do anything chief. As for the Duke of York appearing on the web, I have no problem with that. He is the son of our late Queen and Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, and brother of the King. He was also a war hero of the Falklands War, and should be recognized and honored as such. What also interested me was when Harry went to Jamaica, where he got to know the Prime Minister, followed by a visit to Canada, where he took an interest in Aboriginal issues. Was it a mobilization of support before William became king? How suspicious. But anyway, it's good to serve the king and the Commonwealth, and Harry is no longer there. I wonder if it is a coincidence that, on the same day, the website was changed. Catherine and William were shown on the news tonight out shopping at the weekend. It was a video, and I am sure I am not the only one who was delighted to see her looking well and happy with William. I wish her continued good health and happiness. Finally, thank you very much for listening until this moment. Hopefully, the information I bring meets your news viewing needs. What do you think about the recent changes on the royal website? Please leave a comment to let me know. Have a nice day.